before the break, we had a quick look at SpaceDaddy and how you get your images and inventory and pricing up on the web. I think the general consensus is it's something that everyone should do, and it's quite simple to do. And I urge you all to do it, and we will be ringing you, getting you to do it. So in doing SpaceDaddy, what came out of our strategic review was, here in the UK, there is not a website anywhere that allows people to go online, book and pay for short-term meeting room space. Okay. Now, and meetings might disagree with that because that's an exception, but it is, and meetings facilities, it's not everybody's facilities. Okay. So what we decided to do was, in order really so that we could give SpaceDaddy the full test about posting to third parties, was to create our own third party, which I'm going to introduce you today, and it's called bookworkplaces.com. And this is a site. Actually, I'm going to have to use the slides. So this is a site. Now, Stuart, you're in the room. That image you might recognize. I promise you Ollie Olsen gave me permission to use it. The site is a community where we talked about peer-to-peer networks. This site is a peer-to-peer network for meeting rooms right now. In the future, it will be for desks, co-working space, any short-term space. Okay? And the idea is this is a marketplace where anybody looking for a meeting room will be able to contact and communicate directly with anyone who might supply such a thing, either via a website online or via an app on their mobile phone. Okay? So we have created and built and made bookworkspaces.com. It works seamlessly with SpaceDaddy. So if you put your images on SpaceDaddy, do you remember that button that said make visible? If you make it visible, it will go up to bookworkplaces.com. That's all you need to do. Also, you do need, James, to agree with my terms and conditions of business. Okay. Does everyone understand that concept? Okay, so I've talked a bit about Accenture. I'm not going to, that's repeating myself, so I'm not going to do it. So, okay, so the search online, we'll have a look at it. It's quite simple. You search by location, time, type of space you're after, and the number of people you want. The app, this is actually an image of the app that is created, so you can see those images are exactly the same images that are in SpaceDaddy. That's how they'll be displayed for the consumer or the guest or the person booking. So they will see not just the name of the building and where it is, but they will also see your rating. You notice on there it's got some ratings. I haven't got a pointer, but your ratings on there, and obviously the distance it is from the location or postcode that they were looking for when they searched. Okay, so pretty simple, something I think we're all familiar with in terms of maybe other products and services looking for hotels. Really a quite simple, easy thing to use for the consumer. Okay, so when you have your beautiful rooms in here with the pricing is real time from either your SpaceDaddy or your Centrecharge. So whatever they have from their booking, they want 4 hours, 2 hours, a day, half a day, 2 days. That pricing will be calculated exactly based on what they have searched. They will be able to book it from there. And more importantly, they'll be able to see any recent feedback and see anything that anyone said about their experience in your center. Okay, so very simple and easy to use. And we're going to have a look at it. Okay, so how does it work? So basically, a guest will book and pay. Okay, so what Book Workplaces will do is when they book and pay, we will apply a 5% surcharge to the fee that you charge. So if you charge £100, the guest will pay 105. Okay, So we will charge a surcharge that will be calculated based on the value of your room. The value of the room that you put in Space Daddy will be whatever price you want to sell it at, based on an hour, a half day, a day rate. You can set up those different rates, okay? And they are your retail rates. So they're not less commissions, they're not less booking fees, they are your retail rates. The Book Workplaces site will apply the 5% surcharge, much like the Airbnb model. Okay. All right. So what will happen is the person who books online will also be prompted to pay. They will pay. They will either pay by credit card or debit card, but they will pay. They have to pay. And that cash will go through a PCI compliant, so it is a compliant payment gateway. And that cash will be deposited into a bank account which belongs to bookworkplaces.com. Okay? So it goes into our bank account, not yours initially. What we then do is we then pay you out once a month for all the bookings you have had, less our commission and any credit card fees. Okay? So on this, that is what we do. So what you will receive is you will receive two things. You will hopefully receive a guest that turns up and uses your facilities. Okay? And you will receive a check from us or a BACS transfer from us once a month. Okay? Is that clear? Does that make sense to everyone? Good.
Sorry, just confirm. So we're paying a 5% booking fee. That's what the client is paying, and then we are also paying a commission to you as well.
Correct.
Okay. Which
Correct.
is.
We'll come on to that one. I'm sure you'll love it. I'm sure you won't push back on it at all. No. Okay. Now, the reviews and feedback system is built in. So what will happen is, so this image here that I've got is, obviously it's...
You have mobile?
Yes, I have. So this screenshot here is, obviously it's me, but also it is me as someone who's been booking space. So it's not your centre manager, this is someone who's booking space, and this is the feedback that the centre manager has put about me. Okay? So you can see here that, you might not be able to see on the screen, and we'll have a look at the real system. You can see how many reviews I've had over the last month, 6 months, 12 months, and actually you can see which centre managers have reviewed me and what they've said about me. Okay? So when you get a booking from me, you know whether I'm a good guy, a bad guy, reliable, leave it in a mess, things like that. So that review and feedback is very, very important. At the moment, we've decided that the reviews and feedback are in these areas. So service in the centre, so that's the experience that someone experiences. The quality of communication, and I talked about that before because I think that's everything in peer-to-peer networks. If people ask you a question, you need to respond quickly and promptly. It's life. The meeting facilities, so were they up to standard? So if I'm going to rate Google today, there's a few things they're falling down on today. Quality of the venue. Now, again, we've talked about that internally, and we've talked with a couple of customers, but if people think that they're the wrong things that you should be rated on, and there are other things, we're willing to listen. Our limitation is 4. Okay. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah. Can I just ask about the payment side?
Yeah.
What do you get then? Say, you book the meetings, you have the meetings, and then the money comes through in about a month's time. What do you get with that to reconcile that back to your... Good
question. That's a very good question. That's an excellent question. So the question was, so Kelly's question was, what do they get to reconcile the transactions? Okay, so what we will do is a couple of things. One, you will have an area where you can see all the transactions and you'll be able to see the deductions and the commissions, which you're able to print off, Excel, those kind of things. The other thing that we realize that we need to give you, is we're trying to make it easy for you, is we're making it easy to create an invoice to give back to us. Okay? So you have to invoice us for those transactions too. So we're going to give you an invoice which you can then pass back to us. Okay? So there's two things. There'll be a whole section, and we'll have a look at it in a minute, which basically looks at transactions and payment history, so you can see any transactions and what you're due, but also the facility for you to be able to raise an invoice on us, okay, for tax, for VAT purposes.
So that booking, when it appears in our diary, at the moment we would see the customer who has an account with incentive charge,
Yep.
we know who they are.
Yeah.
Would it be booked then to yourselves?
Well, it will be booked to, you will see two things. So you will see a couple of bits of information. You will know it's come from workplaces, but you also will have all the customer information. Okay, so that customer will be, I'm right in saying it will be set up, the customer will be set up as a new customer. So if you choose by your own marketing to go back direct to that customer, and if he cuts out the site, that's yours directly, that's not ours, okay? But we give you that, we're not going to hide that from you, because what we're trying to encourage is the communication. We want you to communicate with them. So you get the customer, new account, and it's all set up. So there's no tricks. What we believe is the site will almost sell itself, and people will want to go back for the experience. So, okay. Any questions on the reviews?
Because these days we do get inundated when I'm buying anything from Amazon. I think with latest sort of opinion for review. Well, unless I'm not dissatisfied, I don't bother.
Yeah.
So what sort of mechanism is it so we can capture as much of this feedback? Good. What is it about?
Yeah. Okay. Well, in terms of the, at the moment, the site has two areas for reviews. It has the reviews on you, and it has the reviews that you've put on other people. Okay. So every review is captured. What will happen is people will be prompted to, if you haven't raised a review, you will be prompted to do a review. But other than that, there's no other mechanism to do it. Okay. At the moment, there's not a report that says these are your reviews or those kind of things. You'd have to go into the system and see them at the moment. Do you want to?
As most of the time, your review's going to be the same. You're going to say excellent buyer, paid on time. So when in the review section, when you leave your feedback, it remembers what you put in last time. So if you had 20 bookings, on the whole, you can just go leave feedback, leave feedback, leave feedback. And then it's only going to be where something abnormal has happened, you then put more detail and information. So we try to make it as simple as possible to do it. But it's important because if that person uses another centre, if they've got 20 good feedback from you, then if they book in their centre, they're going to know that they're a trusted buyer. So it just helps all of you.
And I suppose the other thing that we have assumed, because at the moment when we start this, no one's going to have a review. We start you all at 100%. So everyone starts at 100%, not at 0. Okay, so you'll be 100% until you start getting reviewed. So when you look at the live system here, you'll see some people at 100. It's probably because there's been no reviews or bookings on them. Okay.
Sorry, for the review.
Can I? Yeah. Do you want to send it down there?
I can shout. So just the review section, yeah? So if somebody's got a bad review, what option do the operators have to reject that booking? So it's great if they've got a bad review, but you're going to get them having seen a bad review and then they're going to trash your place. Possible.
Good question. Don't know. Have we thought about that? I think if I'm honest, we don't have a mechanism at the moment, Mark. So if I'm honest, there isn't a mechanism built in. I imagine, I suppose we thought that all the reviews would be 100% perfect and there'd never be a bad review. I suspect it's a good question. It is a good question, and I don't know the answer.
The answer is at the moment we haven't put an automatic process in for that because we do need to manage that in case someone does put stuff up there and just rejects every booking again.
Yeah.
So it's something that we will put in a later version, but we need to experience what happens first. So in the event you did want to reject someone, you would just contact bookworkplace.com and say, I don't want to take that booking, and then we would, or you could tell the customer direct if they want to, because you will have their information.
Well, I guess the important thing is the payment. And the payment has been made, am I right in saying? It's it's a transaction at point of sale.
Correct.
So that's the sort of bad debt gone.
Yeah,
So
it would have, if it was rejected, it would have to be refunded.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, now one of the things that we've talked about today, and we're going to have a look, is we've talked about the Book Workplaces app. Now obviously we have created an app. At the moment it's an iPhone app. It is not an Android app. It is just iPhone only. We have not done an Android or a Windows Mobile 8 app. It is just an iPhone app. Now, what we have decided to do with this iPhone app, which has cost us an arm and a leg, is give this app to each of you free. You can have the source code of this app. Okay, so each of your business will be entitled to this app. You will be able to brand the app in your corporate colors. Okay, so you'll be able to have the app styled. You cannot change the functionality of the app, but you can brand it. There will be a branding fee that I get charged from the people who make the apps, okay, to do it. At the moment, we do not know what that branding fee is, okay, but we suspect it's somewhere in the region of £500 to £1,000 to brand it, but we don't know, okay. But what that means is that each operator here can have their own app, and they can choose either one just to show their own space on it, or they can show everybody else's space on it, okay? And you can market that app not only to your existing customers, but obviously you can market that to get new customers, okay? Does that make sense? I know it makes sense, but everyone understands that, okay? The app, we're going to have a look at the app soon. The app will be completed and available, we think, sometime in mid-March. So completely finalised with the payment engine, okay? Okay. There are many ways that we plan to promote Book Workplaces, but some of the ways is using our technology and the way that we have developed this site through third parties. So for example, one option is you can have a white label of Book Workplaces. So you could call it Don't Book Workplaces or something like that, whatever you want. And we will give you a white label site. So for example, if you are a broker today, you can have this white label and call it something like Instant Bookings or something like that, okay? On a white label, they're responsible for the promotion of that site, and their fee structure would be their fee structure, okay? So one of the first white label partners will be the Business Centre Association. So there will be a site which is a Business Centre Association site where somebody can go and book and pay through that site. It is Book Workplaces behind it, but it will be branded and look and feel just like a BCA site, okay? The second way, and we talked to James from Workspace Group kind of mentioned this earlier, is through an API. So some people won't want a white label site. They will just want to create their own site, but they want the data. Can anyone think of anyone that might want that? Does anyone use any meeting venue providers? Okay, probably quite a lot of people who do meeting rooms. Meeting venue providers don't have your live availability, they don't have your inventory, but they do have a site. What they want is the data. So what we have created is an API that they can take and take a feed of that data. Okay? So again, we're trying to make it available to as many people as possible. So if you go to hotels.com, you have a hotel room, they will boast that they've got you on 5,000 websites. You don't really care where that booking comes from. just as long as you're getting them. Okay, so that is what we're trying to do here. Okay, how much? Here you go. I knew you'd want this one. You can all study it and say, you said it would be. Right. Okay, book workplaces will charge a booking fee of 5% on all transactions to the guest. We will charge you a bargain 25% of your booking. Everyone's gone. 25% of your booking, but there will be volume discounts available for those who drive volume. Okay? Now, all cancellation fees, so when someone cancels, it will charge a cancellation fee. Look at you shaking your head. Your cancellation fees, okay, they will be subject to a commission too. Okay? Now, the reality of someone coming to your site and booking means that when they turn up, the booking might be extended, they might have additional catering, they might have lots of catering. That revenue is yours. I don't touch that revenue. Book Workplaces does not touch that revenue. That is purely yours. Okay? So that is all yours. So if someone comes and books an hour and they stay 2, the second hour belongs to you.
Do we have visibility of the debit card details?
No. No. No, and there would be no way that you would do that because I would break every PCI compliancy law going.
So if somebody walked in and had additional services, we needed to ensure that we had the debit card or credit card details.
You would need to deal directly with them on that transaction. Yeah, yeah. Okay, if they take a book, now, my experience of online meeting room bookings means sometimes you're going to get some good clients through your building, and if you're lucky, someone might actually end up renting an office off you. If that happens, I do not charge a commission. There is no commission. That's yours. Okay? That's yours. And if a booking is either internal or external via your branded app, okay, so if you take the app, which I've given you some wonderful code for and a beautiful app, okay, the commission on that will be 10% of all transactions, whether it be an internal customer using it or an external. Okay?
Would they still pay that extra 5% as well if they?
No. No. No, unless you wanted them to. But no. Because we see that as being your interface with them, not ours. Okay. Any questions on that? Lovely. Cool. Okay, timings. So, our target is to really have this up and running as soon as possible with 1,200 rooms. I'd like those on by May. So we are really, really keen that in Space Daddy you guys upload your images, your pricing. If you are interested in promoting to Book Workplaces, you will need to agree to the terms and conditions in Space Daddy. And then you can make it visible to Book Workplaces. Okay? So, so that's our goal. The site will be available to take bookings live from April. Okay, we're going to have a look at it now, but actually to take real transactions live. Before we make a real song and dance about the site to the corporate community, we want to be absolutely sure that the user experience is right and it works absolutely perfectly. Okay, because this is going into the corporate world. I've already said the app will be available from mid-March. And basically, if anyone knows anybody who wants to run a meeting room business, let me know, because we have a job vacancy right now. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to have a quick look. So the first thing I'm going to do is just come out of there. So the first thing I'll do, we'll actually go and have a look at the site first. So this is the site. This is up and live. And it's pretty simple on the front, so you just basically put in the location that you're looking. You can either put a postcode in, or you can put a place, whatever you want to do. So if I go Mayfair, it uses, if I could spell it right, so it uses the Google, am I right, the Google search criteria. And I'm going to look for something on the, I'm going to change it to tomorrow now, on the 8th. And at the moment, there's only meeting rooms in here, but ultimately, people have been asking about desk, co-working space. You'd be able to just drop that down and change that to whatever category you want to search. I'll do it within 10 miles of Mayfair, and I'll just do it for 2 people. So you can see the not unfamiliar to a lot of search sites that you've looked at, but left-hand side, it's found me 11 venues. We've got some mapping. Now, again, all of that information that I showed you that you put in Space Daddy, that is it. Whatever you put in Space Daddy, that is it. It's what it's looking at, okay? And that price is in there. We can see the reviews, a picture of the centre manager in there. So if you want to see what they look like, you can do that. There are filters down the left-hand side. So if you want a certain layout, or you need disabled access, or a certain filter, you've got that. I'm actually going to go. I'm going to have a look at the atrium, just because I know it's been used. Okay. So when I look at the atrium, these rooms that have come back are available. If they had a room that was not available on those search criteria that I put in, then it wouldn't show. But I can see the room. The layouts that I've made available at the room show in here. I can see the included facilities and the total price. What I can do, if I change my booking time, so I change it from 10 o'clock till 4 o'clock. Yeah, no. Oh, I'm on the 7th. 10 to. So what will happen, you'll see my total price has updated according to whatever parameters I've searched for. Okay, so it's always, the pricing is coming right back from the Space Daddy database the whole time. If I want to know more about the Lincoln Room, I can obviously go and find out more about it. So not like this one here. So I can see here that it's 280. My price is in the top corner. I can see a description. It's very spacious meeting room, ideal for conferences, can comfortably seat up to 60 people. The images on the venue, so there, if I've had any reviews on the venue, they're there. Naomi is the centre manager, and that's her rating. Okay? So that's Naomi's rating. So that's what Naomi's got on the system. And if I want to book that, it really is quite simple. I click book room.
Is it clear that Naomi's the centre manager then?
I think it says I probably should say, I think sometimes we put the title, don't we? Maybe I haven't filled it in. Do we put the title?
Yeah, I think it does actually.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it says, if I put the title in Naomi's, I think it says centre manager or whatever you call her. Could call her host. So, if I book that, it summarises that. You confirm and pay. Now, to pay, you need to be a member of bookworkplaces.com, so you need to be either registered or you need to register on bookworkplaces.com. I, fortunately, am registered. That is me, if I can remember my... So now this is not a live gateway. We've just used a PayPal sandbox, so it's not a live gateway. I'm not going to put any credit card information It will not use PayPal. It will use probably either SagePay or Barclays SmartPay, depending on the commercial arrangement that we come up with them. There will be a form that they obviously have to fill in their credit card details, okay? For the purposes of today, I can go review and continue. And then my booking is confirmed. It has logged me into the site, so this is me as the user. So I'm now logged into the site where I can see my profile. So I can see my profile, I can update my image. I can link my account to a corporate account. Okay, so some corporates, they'll want it all grouped together. They want some reporting back in terms of what's happening for them. So I'll be able to link that to a corporate account. I can see here my bookings. So I can see here my past bookings. So I can see here rooms, bookings in here that I've made. But also here I can see all the reviews that I need to make. So these are my bookings that I've made, and I need to make a review. Okay, so I can click in here, I can rate my overall experience. I can put a review in here on this booking. It's one that was earlier. I can basically then rate the centre on these facilities and submit feedback.
If they have a problem doing this, or they want to speak to somebody and they've got a question,
there's a number they can call.
Do they ring you or do they ring us?
Well, it's a good question, and I think that ultimately there's no harm in them ringing us. So there'll be a Book Workplaces help desk because they'll have questions on the help desk, but there'll also be the ability for them to contact you directly. So when I did that booking, what I didn't show is the contact me button, which will come to you directly. So whoever that person is on there will go straight to them. Okay, so they can go straight to you. That's one of the important philosophies here is this is about you communicating with them, not just us. We really want them to communicate directly with you because you know your product better than anybody else.
Is that after the booking?
No, I'll show you again. That's if I log out. So if I go here and go log out, and I go. So if I go back to the main site. So if I go, I'll just go into one randomly. So if I go into this building here, and I go into their red room. Now in here. Actually, sorry, there should be the contact button there. Yeah.
You are not logging, that's why.
Yeah.
If you log in, then you will get the contact.
So the answer to the question is, I'm being told I need to be logged in to see the contact button.
On the feedback form, on the textual information, is that instant or instant?
At the moment, it is instant.
I'm just worried about derogatory remarks.
Yeah. Yeah. At the moment, it's instant. It's not policed. Okay, so it's instant at this point in time. Okay, right. Okay, so any questions on that? Yeah, modification of a booking will be an instant communication between you and them. Okay, so that's between you and them. So they would have then purchased the booking and they will come back and they will get an area, they'll be able to contact you to change, move it another day, extend it, change it, ask about catering, those kind of things. Okay, so that will be a direct communication with you.
How would that work in Centre Charge? So if you've done the booking and it's put it in the diary,
yeah,
then they come along and change it and I have to put it into a different day.
Yeah.
Is that going to then Centre Charge going to invoice them again? Or is it going to be linked? How would that work?
No, it will. There won't be an invoice again because they will be marked as already they've paid for that booking. What will happen is you will just be able to then move them in Centre Charge to another, or extended or whatever you need to do. So it will be a bit like Incentive Charge a confirmed booking, but not like an invoice one, if you see what I mean, not like you invoiced it.
But if they book for 2 hours on there,
Yeah.
for some say, can you change the date now 3? We now need an invoice for the
What happened? Sorry. What happened?
Hello? What happens is basically, if say for example they go on and book a meeting for 2 hours on here, and that say came to £100, and you wanted to move that to another room and extend it for another hour, what happens is when you charge the customer for that room, you will only charge them for the additional hour. But when you move it, it does
So
back.
we do that through point of sale,
No, through the reservations.
and it would know just to do it for another hour.
Yes. Yes. What we
Importing existing data.
Yes, when we put the reservation into your Incentive Charge system, and in that, on that record, we flag how much they have paid. Okay, so if, say for example, you extended it and the price comes to more, it will deduct whatever's been paid from the invoice that you produce. Okay, but it doesn't. That's not something that goes into your account system or anything like that. It's just on the invoice that the customer received, and then the only stuff that goes to your account is the additional revenue that you've taken from it. But we don't get to know about the additional revenue you've taken, but we do get to know you moving forward.
Can we just go over the money again? Because 25% and 10%, is that 10% only if you take the branded app, or is it 10% as well as the 25%?
Well, they're two different sources. So if someone books through the branded app, it's 10%, and that booking would be 10%. Okay, so if you go through the main site, it would be 25.
The main site being your site, or
Yes.
API on our site?
No. Well, no, that would be different. An API on your site is different. That's a different scenario, because that's your site. I just give you the Incentive Charge API. Okay, that's a very different. That's not really using Book Workplaces at all. So for that, the API, there is no commission on your site. Okay, but you would only ever be able to put your rooms on there. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, who would like to see the app? Okay. So do you want to switch me over? Okay. So this is the app for Book Workplaces. So it's pretty simple. So I can type in here. You have to forgive my podgy fingers. Thursday 7th. Today tomorrow at 12. Probably don't want all these minutes. Okay. Done. Well. So that comes back with the. So this app is kind of live, looking at this database. So it's all real time. So it comes back and lists me the 12 results, which I can scroll down the results. And there's a nice photo view. So if you want to see the results here, you can scroll down here. So if you don't put an image in, but you promote it, you're going to get a no image, if you see what I mean. Okay. So going into it, if I just clicked into the app, I see a picture of the rooms. It will give me the price. I can see any feedback. I've got all the information about the amenities, the cancellation policy, the host is all there. So you can see, again, just being in Space Daddy, the same information is being displayed, just in another application. Now, this does not book at this point in time, so there's no point in me even booking. There's no payment gateway hooked up. But hopefully that gives you a flavor of the application. And that will be free on the App Store. Anyone can download it. So we will obviously promote the app, because we believe that a lot of bookings will come through this, more so than the website. Just because it's easy to use, it's quick, all those generation wires. Very simple and easy to use. Any questions on the app? What do you think of the app? And if you have your own app, this is it. You would just have the branding. So you would just have the branding of the color scheme and the branding at the top. Okay. Okay. Oh look, it's Darren's family. He's got a lot of children.
A lot of emails. Got a lot of in-red emails.
Now you know. Yeah, switch it. Okay. All right. That really is all I wanted to show you on the book workplaces. Does anyone have any questions on book workplaces that you would like to? Hands, go. Cherry. We'll just get Cherry a. Can we take the? If it's technical, you're going to have to take it.
Sorry, I've been a bit real now. It's very exciting. Are there? From what I can see, there are 4 options. There's the.
I might go back to the slide. Yep.
Bookworkplace.com website.
Yeah.
To which obviously the Space Daddy is the back side of it. So
Correct.
We want to upload our stuff to Space Daddy. No one sees spacedaddy.com except us users basically.
Yeah.
In front of that sits bookworkplace.com,
Yeah.
which is real site. We're keeping that. That's
Yeah.
real. That's not just a.
No, that's absolutely real. Yeah.
Okay. So we can all upload our stuff to that site. But we can also have our own branded version of that website.
Well,
could Hot Office have
you could.
centres
Yeah.
on the Hot Office brand
Yeah.
site?
Yeah.
Or we could just have our own centres on there. One or the other.
You could.
Right. And the same then with the app. So we could have a
And the same with the app.
Hot Office app.
Yes.
A branded Hot Office app for all centres, for everybody's centres.
Yeah.
But also a branded Hot Office app just for our own centres.
You absolutely can. Yes. 4 options.
Thank you.
Okay. There is a 5th option, which is what And Meetings do. Okay. So what they do is they just link directly to Centrecharge through our API. They pay no commissions to us. Okay. So but they correct. They've invested in their own site. They've built their own version of this. Yeah. Yeah.
Would Hot Office, sorry. Would Hot Office therefore, if they've got everyone's centres listed on their app, which they're paying £1,000 or whatever to get produced, and my centres are listed on Hot Office's app, would Hot Office therefore get a cut as well?
Yes, potentially yes. It is. That's exactly right. Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Got a question at the back, Sally Ann?
Extending from what's just been said, so can we opt, not that I'm saying we would, but can we opt out of being listed on other people's websites?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah. You can even opt out of book workplaces, although you'll be mad not to. Yeah, you can. It's your data. It's not my data. It's always your data. And I'll always say that to you. It's your data. I'm giving you the tool set to be able to market your inventory in a much smarter way than you can currently do, or probably can even afford to do yourselves. And that's what I'm putting on the table here. Okay.
But if we, and I appreciate they can't hear so many little people.
Yeah, if we'll get the...
But if we're going to have our own website, booking just advertising our own meeting rooms in our own groups, we wouldn't have this at all, we would have Cassie.
Correct. Or the API. Okay, but they're quite complicated things, meeting rooms. Yeah. I suppose that what we have done is we've basically looked at every option that we know our customers come and ask us about, and we have got every option covered. So you can either have your own branded website with no commission and you pay us a fixed fee, or you can have an API which you pay us for the API, which is one kind of a fee for that, and then you have no commissions. I think the thing this is going to do is this is going to start to put your space on places that you wouldn't ordinarily get to. This is what it's about, is to make it more available to a wider, bigger community. It's about the corporates.
Tell us about that. How are you going to promote this so that we all want to be on it?
How am I going to promote it? Okay, so there's a couple of things. So in the initial stages, there's obviously the SEO is going on as we speak in terms of the site. There are various commercial things that we're looking at. So for example, in the corporate world, there is a software called, does anyone know Condeco? No, no reason to. Condeco is probably the largest bit of software that a corporate uses to manage their meeting rooms. So if you imagine in a corporate, so if you go to Lloyd's, use the Lloyd's Bank example. So if you go to Lloyd's Bank, internally they find their meeting rooms on an internal extranet through a piece of software called Condeco. And all external meeting rooms, they have to go outside. There's no system giving them a feed of external meeting rooms. What the corporates are interested in is controlling the feed of external meeting rooms so that they don't go to hotels and spend a fortune. So what we are doing with Condeco is, again, providing a link to the data. Now, what they're saying is make the data worthwhile in terms of the number of centres. Okay? Because if every corporate can have a button and say, click on external from their Condeco system, and it comes to you lot, that's got to be good. Yeah? So that is the kind of, I think, smart things that we can do. The other things that we'll do, I mean, there's going to be a lot of PR. So I think a lot of PR, a lot of press coverage, because this is the kind of thing that is important. And the other marketing that you get by having an application on the App Store, when you go looking for a meeting room, how can I find it? That app will be available to download on your iPhone. And actually, I still think that's probably the biggest source of where sales are going to come from. Because Apple will do that for you. Okay. Does that answer your question? Any others? I also think the white label is important because, because people have, if I look at the brokers, they should be adding this to their portfolio as a white label site. And they're fabulous at their SEO and their search. So, they're top at that. That's why you all pay 10% on big numbers. Any others? Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much for attending today. I appreciate your participation, lots of questions. Please don't ask me any more technical questions today. I don't know if I can cope. I shall probably explode. But hopefully you found it useful. For the centre charge customers in here, that will be available on what date, Anthony?
25th of February.
25th of February. The release notes will be out before that, the week before, and that will be upgraded and you will get all those features. One thing I will just say is if you are running Centre Charge 5, you cannot do any of this. If you run Centre Charge 5, you cannot do any of it. It will not work with Space Daddy. It will not work with Book Workspaces. It will not work on the app. Okay, so you need to upgrade to the latest version of Centre Charge. Okay, so that's you, Mike, all right? Okay, so all that remains to be said is thank you very much for coming. There's going to be, I'm going to be around here for a bit. I think, Taryn, are you going to take, if anyone wants to go to the light bar, please join us, come and have a drink with us. They're on me, so that's got to be a good thing. I look forward to hopefully seeing a few of you for a drink. And if you want to grab me, I'm going to be around here for a bit, packing up. Couple of thank yous. Thank you to all the developers for working really hard to meet the deadlines. Good job. Taryn, how would I ever cope without you? You're fantastic. Thank you very much. And thanks to you guys for giving us a business and giving us the enthusiasm to keep going with it. So thank you. All right.